Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you.
Good to see you. We're happy
See
to
you all too.
Yes.
See you all.
We're happy to be together to lead a Shabbat streaming service. It's been a while.
Yes.
It has. Once in a while, we let Rabbi Bar back in the building.
Yeah, they changed the locks. I was trying to get in this morning, knocking on the door.
Right, but we let you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we'll talk more about it later, but part of the reason that Rabbi Bar is back is because he pre-recorded something special to insert into the service a little bit later. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But first, as we often do, we'll welcome Shabbat with a little tiny pause, maybe a nice breath or two to breathe out the stresses of the week and welcome in the peacefulness and the joy of Shabbat.
Six days we speak.
Tonight we listen.
6 days we build.
Tonight we rest.
6 days we take care of others.
Tonight we nurture ourselves.
6 days we work to change our world.
Tonight we are renewed by what is eternal.
6 days we plan for the future.
Tonight we are enveloped in the present.
6 days we eat and drink in haste.
Tonight we savor the taste of bread and wine and feel the bond of the world that feeds us.
6 days we teach.
Tonight we learn.
6 days we hear the clamor.
Tonight we listen for clarity.
6 days we struggle to expand our influence.
Tonight we are dissolved in a greater influence.
6 days we focus our vision on the task at hand.
Tonight we look beyond what we can see.
May each of us find our Sabbath peace.
Hine ma tov, how good it is to be together in this way as we celebrate Shabbat.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
We continue with our candle lighting.
On Shabbat, we light the candles. Candles bring forth light, illuminating the darkness. Candles offer us warmth, providing comfort. Candles awaken us as we reach for possibilities. As we light these candles, let us use their light to stretch beyond ourselves, touching others, bettering our world.
Thought I could get to them.
Okay. Baruch ha'or ba'olam, blessed is the light within the world. Baruch ha'or ba'adam, blessed is the light within each person. Baruch ha'or ba'Shabbat, blessed is the light of Shabbat.
We offer a hope for peace. These are the words adapted from Rabbi Harold Kushner. Let the rain come and wash away the ancient grudges, the bitter hatreds held and nurtured over generations. Let the rain wash away the memory of the hurt, the neglect. Then let the sun come out and fill the sky with rainbows. Let the warmth of the sun heal us where we are broken. Let the warmth and brightness of the sun melt our selfishness so that we can share the joys and feel the sorrows of our neighbors. And let the light of the sun be so strong that we will see all people as our neighbors. With hopes for that world of understanding and of peace, Na'aseh Shalom, we will make peace in the world.
נעשה שלום בעולם, נעשה שלום עלינו, Imaru, Imaru, Amen. Nase Shalom, Nase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Nase Shalom, Nase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Nase Shalom, Nase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Nase Shalom, Nase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Nase Shalom, Nase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam.
So I was fortunate to be able to be out in California visiting my brother Eric Barr. And what I've done over the years is I've recorded conversations with him, sometimes in person and sometimes via Zoom. And I was out there and I recorded a conversation which we're going to share with you this evening. Shabbat Shalom. I am so glad to be participating in this Friday night service with Rabbi Werber. I'm Rabbi Robert Barr, Rabbi Emeritus of the congregation. And to my right is my brother Eric Barr, and I am visiting him in Southern California. Now, some of you who've been participants over the years probably have seen me record service with him, sometimes in person, like tonight, and sometimes via Zoom. But I'm fortunate to be here. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be out here. And so, Southern California, up in the mountains, it's a beautiful setting, and the weather's great. When we were recording this, and it's snowy in the east, and it's really very pleasant out here. So, for those of you who don't know, would you talk a little bit about who you are, just to give folks who may not have known you or met you before?
Well, I'm your brother, and people have come to know me in Beth Adam because I had a stroke and you came out and spent time while I was recovering or while I was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And that stroke was how long ago now?
It's 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had an infection in my heart. I had open heart surgery to replace an aortic valve, and my heart became infected. The infection broke off, went to my brain, and caused a stroke.
Mm-hmm. And these were really significant strokes.
Significant strokes. Wiped out my left side. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. My left arm and left leg were paralyzed. I spent a lot of time in rehab.
And people should know you were an incredibly physical person. The strokes were a function of this infection, not of any lifestyle. And you were a horse person. You were actually, you can see the horses out the big windows that I can see. Martial artist, taught
a runner,
taught
acting, movement for actors.
Mm-hmm. So you're a very physical person, and all of those things are really no more. You mean occasionally you can get on a horse. It's been a lot of work.
It's been years since I've been on my horse, but we're getting ready to get back on a new horse.
Mm-hmm. And even so, walking is hard, and you get tired out and work a lot on that. But given all that's going on, the part of yourself that has maintained is your creative spark. I mean, the reality is that some of you know Eric did a one-man show. You can always go to a piece of my mind, piece as in a piece of part.
It's all one word, apieceofmymind.net.
And you performed that. You actually performed it in Cincinnati.
And it's online at that site.
Okay.
And I did perform it in Cincinnati.
And there was a documentary about you.
And that's online also.
So, and then is the Dicker?
And I did a speech at the university on how I used acting techniques to help in my recovery, and that's available on that website too.
Right. So that you can go there. And in the last couple of years, you started writing poetry. What prompted you to start writing poetry? Which was
I heard a lecture by Billy Collins, who was the poet laureate of the United States, and in his lecture, he said that poetry was a good way to remember a moment. And I was having such trouble with my memory that I found that writing things down became a way to remember things.
Mm-hmm.
And my very first poem I wrote when I went to visit a friend of mine who was dying. I was very afraid to go see him. I was afraid what I was going to see. But I wrote it down. And actually, that poem was the first poem I had published.
Do you want to read that poem?
Sure.
Do you have that?
I have that poem right here in my new book, Striking Back, Post-Stroke Poetry by Eric Barr.
So as Eric's pulling up the poem, that first poem, post-stroke poetry,
Striking Back.
Striking Back post-stroke poetry
It's not available yet.
It's not available yet. I'm not sure. It's not available as a recording. When we post this conversation, it may be. I promise you, we'll let you know when it becomes available. I'm very proud of him that he's been. In fact, today as we were sitting here, you did receive a book, and one of your short stories was just published.
Yes.
So this is a lot of work that you've been doing. So this is the first poem.
Right. This was the first poem I had published. It was published in an anthology called "The Best Emerging Poets," California's Best Emerging Poets, 1920-2024, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because I was 70 something when I was emerging.
Mm-hmm.
So let me read this. On visiting my dying friend. Yesterday, I visited my dying friend. That's good. Tomorrow would have been one day too late. Once he was the skinny one. Once I was the skinny one to his muscular, brawny frame, but dying had diminished him. Now he was the skinny one, skeletal with a flesh shroud. I talked to him. He did not respond. I don't know if he heard me, but I talked. Most of the visit, his eyes were closed. So I don't think he saw me. No looking, no talking. Maybe he was just practicing being dead, or just communing with those who already were. Sitting near him on the bed, I tried to understand his groans and mumblings. His wit and words were gone, and all that remained was sound, the sound of labored breathing. His once flat stomach was bloated with illness, and his arms that could chop and carry wood could hardly lift him out of a chair. Dying had already taken so much out of him, there was little left for death to take. So I wrote that just as a way to remember my friend.
Mm-hmm. Who was an extraordinary guy. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody we knew. And it's very powerful poem, and it's really strong imagery. And all your poems, I have to say, have incredibly strong imagery. That's sort of part of what you've been able to capture, dealing with complex issues.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Is there another poem?
Yeah, I'll read this one that was just published online. You were here today. I got a check for it.
Right, that's right. He is not only is he a published author, he as a professional author because you got paid.
I got a check today for this poem,
which is very exciting. I mean, for those of you,
very exciting to me. I didn't know I was getting a check.
You didn't know really?
They indicated they were sending me a check, but I didn't know why because no one sends you a check for a poem.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, it's got to come up on my phone. Sorry.
So as that's coming up. Okay. What's the name of that?
Stoppable. Until we are stopped cold, dead in our tracks, we all feel invincible. Becoming disabled happens to your family, friends, pets. It will happen to you. Our disintegration rides shotgun with us from the first day of life to the last day. That's why there are children's hospitals and nursing homes. You start with a flu in elementary school that keeps you home, looking out the window, wondering what your friends are doing, and end up in a memory care center, looking out the window, wondering where you are. Even our pets are not immune. They need stitches for a cut and end up immobilized in a plastic cone. When do we discover our superpowers? When we are in a fight for our lives. When we are at our weakest, most broken, if we're lucky, some untapped sources of strength reveal themselves to us to get us through the worst.
A lot of your poems
deal with my illness.
Yes, and deal with illness that you've experienced, but it raises it for all of us. I think that's one of the challenges.
Right, because we all, where I say we're all going to be disabled at some point. Being full-bodied is a temporary condition, or being fully able-bodied is a temporary condition. All of us, if it's just getting old and we start to lose our hearing or our legs or our arms get weak, we're all going to become a diminished version of our earlier selves. And that's part of my poetry, because it's something I've been certainly forced to confront.
Right. And I think it resonates with all of us. I mean, I know when I read it, it resonates, and it's harsh in many ways. It's striking. I mean, you don't pull any punches, but oftentimes they're funny. There's a twist to it that both a smile and a tear, so to speak. And I think this book that's coming out, there are different folks who wrote blurbs for it, who read it, who didn't know you,
Right.
and made that observation that it was both powerful and at times funny, that you're able to deal with these complex issues. And I think it really is profound that you've been willing to share this, because I think it's so easy for us to forget that,
Well, as one person said, this is my way of continuing to teach, even though I'm no longer able to go into the classroom and stand up and do 3 hours of lectures.
Right, because Eric was a theater professor. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Right.
And taught and worked with students. And some of them, your
And
students
directed shows,
acted,
acted.
wrote. I mean, but poetry wasn't the medium that you.
No, poetry didn't enter my life until very late in my life.
And how does it feel to be writing the poems now? What's your experience?
It's exciting. I mean, to be able to sit down and find some words that work. It's very exciting. The challenge of finding the words and then having people respond to them. It's not the same as performing, but it's a little bit like that. I get a little rush from the work.
And what I thought was interesting is that you're actually taking classes online about poetry with people from around the country, with a
poet laureate of John Brantingham, poet laureate of the Sierra National. That's wrong. He was the poet laureate of the national park in California. And he's a wonderful teacher. And taking classes gives me a chance to learn about all areas of poetry that I know nothing about, and have someone to talk to, and to listen to other poets read their work is really important.
And you actually get assignments, because I remember you came.
Right.
I mean, you're learning about different kinds of poetry too.
Right.
different rhythms of syncane, and so you're writing
Right, forms. Writing a sonnet or a syncane. Yeah, learning different forms and learning to work in different forms forces your brain to work in a very different way. Even though I mostly write in free verse, that still forces me to work in a certain way. So I don't do a lot of rhyming, but it still forces you to think how to make a line effective in as few words as possible.
And then people also, you wrote a poem about riding, and so people have said to you, would you write more about horses?
Right.
So it challenged you to
start thinking about writing about horses and riding horses.
That's not in the new book, the horse book.
No. That's going to be a whole separate book. Like, and God said.
No, that's another project he's working.
I got a bunch of projects I'm always working on projects.
And just different styles of writing, and working in a
short stories, writing even these flash fiction.
What's that?
Flash fiction is generally under 1,000 words or under 500 words. And now John has introduced me to something called a drabble that's under 100 words. Or a dribble, I think he calls it, is under 50 words. And to write a story in that short amount of words is particularly challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, and I read you showed me one, and it was really striking, 100 words to capture it. And you wrote one about saying Kaddish for our Father, the traditional mourner's prayer,
right?
And that just got published, and it was long, and you kept on shortening.
It started out close to 1,000 words, and it ended up at about under 200 words.
Which is really amazing.
Yeah.
And really impressive. So it's really, I mean, it's exciting, and I wanted to share this with all of you who've been part of this journey. I think if you've not seen some of the earlier conversations that I had with Eric, you can go back and search in the archives of Beth Adam to find them, because we've been doing this pretty much since the stroke. So, people have commented about, they've seen your evolution and
Right.
seen you gotten stronger over the years, and have been really impressed by that, or just struck by that. They've noticed that piece of it.
Right, that I'm able to talk and communicate. Your people have commented on. Can I thank Arroyo Seco Press?
Oh, please promote the book.
I want to thank Arroyo Seco Press in Long Beach, California, for publishing my first chapbook, which is a short collection of poems to introduce me to the world as a poet.
Great. You want to read another one?
Yeah, I'll read one more. This one that's got a tab on it.
Okay. We'll take the tab off.
All right.
Maybe I could get it flipping around. There you go.
When all is said and done comes much too soon. Some days are so short, I have to talk in my sleep and run in my dreams just to keep up. The day's too short, the years too few. There's nothing to do but walk the dog, stay close to your friends, and move wildly to your favorite music. Time is running out. Time is running out.
Yeah, time is running out. Time's running out for us too. I appreciate that. I appreciate you willing to share your expertise.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming all the way to California.
And what's really exciting, and those of you don't know this, but we're sitting in a cleaned up office.
Right. My study became just a drop zone for everything, and I couldn't even get to the desk. And this is the first time I've been able to have my computer on the desk in months.
So, and you're going to keep it clean, right?
I'm going to keep it clean, or you're coming back. We're going to get you a ticket and get you back out here.
There, do that. So this is great. So it's so exciting. It's great to be. It's great to share this. I mean, it's always been to me incredibly moving that Eric and Karen, your wife, have been willing to share this journey. I mean, we all do face illnesses at some point. We all face challenges at some point, and you've been willing to be incredibly public about it, and as a way to teach us about what it means. So sharing these poems with you tonight and Eric's experience is a celebration of him and what he's accomplished. But I think my hope is it helps each of us sort of turn inward and think about, how do we confront the challenges that life presents to us? How do we deal with the fact that time is running out? How do we make the most of those moments that we have and the connections that we have? Can I read one poem?
Of course.
Okay, so just recently, I'm sorry for leaning in so far. Recently, I had to be on I'm on a part of a clergy group, and I was asked to open up the conversation, and I chose to read one of your poems, and I got responses to it. People sent me responses and were really touched by it, and I just wanted to share it with you. I thought it was a way to begin this particular conversation. It's titled, "Who Will Die First?" That's a question I ask about my family, my friends, my pets. It's not that I think about death a lot. Like most people, I don't notice that I'm alive until there's something to complain about. There's the rub. We are barely aware that we're alive. Some days I don't notice the taste of the orange juice, the sun on my back, the breeze in my face. We are just so busy being and doing every day that we don't notice being alive until it's almost too late. Maybe the question should be, who will taste the orange juice first?
Well, thank you. That's a nice poem. Who wrote that?
I don't know who wrote that. Who wrote that poem? But I think that it really touched people because I think that's so true. We oftentimes don't think about being alive until there's a tragedy. What I hope you to do is every day, this day, think about being alive. Think about the incredible experience that we have and how we can interact and touch one another people and how our lives are evolving and continue to evolve. So again, I want to thank Eric for sharing his poetry with
Oh,
us
thank you.
and sharing this service with you this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So it was really great for me to be out there. Eric and I had fun. We were actually sitting in his study. We had been cleaning it, getting all the papers off, and it was great. And while we were there, we were talking about the book. It was still yet to come out. He had a mock-up to edit it, and it is now available. You can get this through Amazon. I'm sure there are other places. Striking Back Stroke Poetry. If you go to Amazon and type in Eric Barr, this will come up. It's very exciting. We're proud of it. One of the reviews, I think I just want to read just a piece of a review, which wrote, "There's nothing funny about having a stroke, but don't tell Eric Barr that. Striking Back makes use of dark humor to illuminate a post-stroke existence. At times, Barr's approach may seem painfully direct. The effect, striking back, is a stroke of genius." It really is powerful, makes you think, makes you pause. One of the things that was referenced in our conversation was the gentleman, the teacher who helped Eric. He really wanted to give him credit. He sent me a short note to read right now. Eric wrote, "This book of poetry would not have existed without the patience, wisdom, and guidance of my teacher, John Bradingham. John was the first poet laureate at the Sequoia National Park. He's published hundreds of poems, short stories, memoir pieces, and several collections. Eric says if you're interested in writing and looking for a class in one of those areas, he would recommend John with no reservations." So you can find John. He has a website. It's wjohnbradingham.com. It's JOHN, B as in Bravo, RANTINGHAM.com. So check that out. I know Eric learned so much from John. In fact, Eric's encouraged me to write some poetry and do some work with John as well. So I hope you take this chance to reach out, to learn about it, and to be touched by Eric's work. So thanks for letting me share this with you and the congregation and with all of you this evening for this Shabbat.
It's a gift to us and remarkable, right? To come back from what he came back from. If I got one or two poems, I would feel successful.
Mhm.
But pull that off and inspire people is remarkable. So thank you for sharing that story. And with that, we will turn to memory, to remembering those who are no longer with us and yet continue to inspire us.
As we celebrate Shabbat together, we pause for a moment of separation, to stand alone, to turn inward, to reflect and remember. We recall those we've lost, members of our families, beloved friends, those whose lives have touched ours and who are no longer with us.
We allow ourselves to wander quietly back in time, hearing again the sound of their voices, feeling comfort in the ongoing connection of their lives to ours. We want to hold time captive, to erase the steely distance between their time and ours. Although they are no longer present, we hold them close through memories of the past, shared experiences, and hopes for the future. We understand that their lives give shape and color to our own.
We pause as we remember those who are no longer with us. The pain of death is all around, and it touches us both personally and collectively as we think about those who died as a result of violence and terror that mars our world, our planet, that mars our nation. We think about those who've died, who've helped us become the people we are. We think about our loved ones who no longer are with us. We think about all those who no longer walk among us. Death cannot take that which is locked in our hearts. With our tears and our sorrow, we remember. With our courage and our strength, we do not forget. Acts of kindness, deeds of courage will remain. Beauty created, wisdom shared is not lost. With our tears in our sorrow, we remember. Imdama'ot be'einenu, be'et hevlenu, nishmor al zecher achuvenu. With our tears in our sorrow, we remember.
Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May the memory of good people bless our days. We come to our symbol of joy. On Shabbat, it is our custom to share wine with family, friends, and community. The wine reminds us that it is not enough for us to quench our physical thirst. We must nourish our spirit as well. As we celebrate Shabbat, may this wine remind us to live our lives to the fullest and to embrace the joys and pleasures that life offers. Bruchim hachayim ba'olam. Blessed is the life within the world. Bruchim hachayim ba'adam. Blessed is the life within us. L'chaim.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
We close with our final words of blessing.
May we know blessings those who are near. May we know blessings those who are far. May the Sabbath bring its goodness to everyone soon, wherever they are.
May we know blessings through the day. May we know blessings through the night. May health be for all children. All things soon be right.
May we know blessings in our comings. May we know blessings when we depart. May we live each day with peace and wisdom in each heart. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.